what our characters are going through in this story. For they're going to the realm where it is always winter. And it's going to be a violent night. Traveling through their sort of snowy dream dimension, guided by Dr. Greenbank's late husband, the investigators found themselves at another unsettling cabin. Greenbank's late husband had explained to them that in this dream realm, their imaginations could become reality, even to grant them the power of flight.
Elliot?
Oh. Oh, he startled me.
You startled us? Where did you go? Well, here, obviously, but how did you get here? Please don't tell me you flew.
As a matter of fact, Yes.
Elliot and Greenbank ventured down into the cabin's cellar, where they found one of the nuns who had been killed back at Greenbank's house in Wisconsin.
Sister Mary?
When you say Sister Mary, immediately she snaps around. And you see this sort of sunken and sallow face that's staring at you, and there's flesh dripping off of it, and she says,
"Such pretty skin! Give it to us!"
The nun explained that the wendigos back on Earth could only be destroyed by killing the souls of their tethers in this alternate dimension.
The Queen?
Ithaca, she rules. And her children, they have made it to the other side. But you, to destroy them, must destroy their tethers!
Their tethers? Their bodies?
Their souls. Find the Queen's lair. Search for her pond. Drown them. Drown them all! Only then will they be able to pass on into nothing.
Ronnie, mentally taxed beyond the breaking point, began hallucinating. He started to see Dr. Greenbank as his own mother.
I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean for it to end up this way. I wanted to make you so proud of me.
As we rejoin our investigators, they are leaving the cabin and heading towards the direction of the Queen's lair. Friends, let's begin one of our final 3 chapters in the Devil's Antlers.
So from here we head north.
Why are we going north?
We have to go where it's always winter.
Okay. Are we almost done with this yet?
I don't think so.
But I think we're on the right track. And that counts for something.
I don't know how much longer I have it in me to do this. And I feel like I've lost a bit of memory, and I don't even remember when I lost the memory.
Well, you know, Ronnie, after just reconsidering it, I think we are almost done with it. And then I kind of look back towards you guys and I wink.
I think we're better than halfway.
Well, whatever we gotta do, let's get this over with, huh?
You begin to mush your dogs along faster, and the trees are moving out of the way for you, and the snow is starting to fall. Slowly, at first. And you continue along, and you can hear the sounds of the dogs panting in front of you, and the crunch of the snow as you mush your way through it. And at one point, you would all notice that there's more noise. There's something on either side of you, and you hear Alfred yell out, "Speed up! We gotta speed up! We gotta make our way to the storm as fast as we possibly can, okay? We gotta speed up!" And he yells out, "Mush! Mush!" And gets, he's just snapping these reins on these dogs, and they're bolting forward and yelping and growling and pushing their way through the snow. And what are the rest of you doing?
Holding on for dear life.
Dart is looking around trying to see what is making those noises.
So, Dart, you would see that every so often there is a flash of red eyes off in the pines on either side of you, actually. And it doesn't appear to be keeping up with you necessarily, but it is close.
Like, in this situation, Elliot would, he's aware that they're still not in the physical realm, so he's not as scared of the pursuers as maybe some of the others are. But he also knows that, because of that, it kind of, to him at least, it doesn't matter, how fast they go. He doesn't see them as much of a threat. And, also, in this current situation, he knows it's all sort of made up in the mind, but it's not like he's a expert dog sledder or anything like that too. So he's just holding on and going steady. He's actually humming the tune of the ants go marching 2 by 2 hurrah to himself to try to keep focus.
I think Dart is trying to conjure up a rifle.
It appears immediately in your hands.
Perfect. It's probably Enfield, like his dad would have used in the army.
Okay.
I call up to, I guess, just everyone, hey, I know we were told that, the things that we use here can't really kill anything that's here, right? But, they can slow them down, right?
Oh, yeah!
Okay, well, if anything gets too close, I'm gonna try and blast it then.
You watch as this gaunt, white skeletal figure immediately bursts from the woods and is so close to your tail. Go ahead and roll dexterity to take a shot.
A little bit of a pop. 15, that is a failure.
You see the snow fly up beside it, and it's bounding after you on all fours. It's sort of like leaping in the air and then landing on its hands and sort of like leapfrogging like that, and it's gaining on you fast. And you try and work the bolt action, and as soon as that happens, go ahead and roll strength.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that's another fail.
You watch as this thing leaps through the air, and you try to brace yourself with this rifle, and immediately this thing is upon you and it starts clawing at you. And you're going to take 2 points of damage as it does this, and it's going to put these deep rends across your chest. And everyone, you would see that that Dart is currently being mangled on the front of this dog sled.
Shit! Vandermeat's been hit!
Don't worry, these dangers aren't real.
It definitely still hurts. It hurts. Oh God. Help, please. Help, please. Anyone?
Imagine that it doesn't hurt.
Dorothy's thinking about wanting a fucking gun, and boom.
Yeah, you have one. Roll dexterity.
Oh, please. Just this once. That's a fail. I'm gonna use a luck point. Because we can't lose Dart this far in. That's a pass. That's a good pass.
You take this this revolver that just appeared in your hand and you press it to the temple of this creature and you pull the trigger and you watch as this gore and viscera just explodes on Alfred behind you, and this thing kind of rolls off, and you see as it kind of stops and it gets up and it cricks its neck in this very obscene sort of position, and it like takes a second and shakes around, and you see more gore just sprays everywhere as it's shaking, and it takes a few more moments and then begins to bound after you guys again.
Dart has started trying to imagine that the wounds that he has are like field dressed, at least.
Roll me intelligence.
Oh, sure, I can do that. That's a fail.
You do have luck points.
I know, but my intelligence is a 7. It's gonna be hard no matter what.
My dex is a 9.
Yeah, I'll burn one luck. Oh, that's actually a success.
You heal 1 hit point, and you look down, and you see that all of your wounds have been dressed, and there's a little bit of a blood stain going across the bandage that's on your chest where these deep rends were, but you do feel better.
Oh. Okay.
Elliot, you would get it in your head that you think the only real danger here is if you get trapped. Because the amount of time that you spend here, if you spend too much time, your physical bodies are done for, and then you're trapped here forever. And so that's the only real danger that you can see.
So I'm going to close my eyes, try to block out all the distractions going on with them, and I'm going to imagine that there is a stopwatch, or actually, it's my wind-up watch, and it is the exact same as the one in the real world with the accurate time, and I'm going to look at it.
You have been dead for approximately 1 minute and 36 seconds.
All right. I think this is still doable, and I'm going to wind my watch, listen to it tick, and then start to sort of assess the situation. Is any more of those things chasing us?
Oh, definitely.
All right. I have an idea, and we need to do it now. This may seem weird, but think about Christmas. And I'm going to start to imagine my dog sled as Santa's sled with reindeer, and hopefully start to fly.
Everyone roll me intelligence.
I got a natural 1.
Same here.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
That's what I mean.
I failed.
Doesn't matter, because you immediately see fucking Dasher, Dancer, Donner, Blitzen, Comet, fucking all of the, I don't remember all of them, it doesn't matter. But this immediately transforms into a sleigh that begins to take off, and you watch as these wendigos behind you leap up into the air and they try to grasp for this sleigh, and it just doesn't work because you're too high up for them, even with their great leaping power, and you're in the air at this point. You're high above the pines, and you can see a great storm in front of you. It's way off in the distance, but it is amazing and terrible.
There it is.
Well, I think that's where we have to go.
We've got this.
Oh, we've got this.
I don't like this. I don't feel so good.
So there's a thing that I gotta let you know. First of all, we gotta make sure that we're close to the ground when we get near the storm. None of this works once you're in the storm because you're in her realm. And that I won't be able to go into the storm with you.
Can people who live here not, or people who originate in this realm not go in, or?
Well, you created me when you came here. You needed something to hang on to. But here's the question that I have. I don't know if that makes me any less real, because the things that come, they are real, as far as you believe them. And so even though I can't go beyond the storm, who's to say that I'm not your Alfred? Or a version of him, at least.
As far as I'm concerned, you are my Alfred. You're everything I remember of him. And what I remember is a lot. Thank you for being here for us. And thank you for coming back when we needed you, when I needed you.
It was my pleasure. You got some good friends here, Dot.
I know. Some good boys. And I'll take care of them for as long as I can.
Well, yeah, they're green around the ears, so, you know.
Well, we were too once.
Yeah, we were, weren't we? So, boys,
Ronnie's gonna throw up over the side.
Okay, well, Alfred will conjure a bottle of whiskey, and he'll say, so I guess everybody but Ronnie, how about a drink?
When I notice that Ronnie's vomiting, I'm going to imagine that the vomit, after it leaves his mouth and tumbles toward the ground, turns into presents.
Oh, it absolutely does. Like, no problem. Absolutely.
And little parachutes pop out of the tops of them, so they just float down.
You get it to the point where Ronnie has to visualize presents coming from his mouth as he's vomiting. Like, Ronnie, you're vomiting presents right now. Which is definitely not helping the sanity.
As we get in closer to the storm, and I'm seeing this, I'm like, and to all a good night. But as per Alfred's direction, I think I will start flying a little bit closer to the ground now that we've outrun the wendigos and are getting a little bit closer to the storm.
So you'll notice that naturally the height at which you're flying is starting to come down, so you instinctually decide to lower it even quicker because you're beginning to think that at any point this could completely cut out and then all four of you will just be free falling. And so you set it down and you continue forward for a little while longer, and you watch as Alfred raises a glass to his lips and the sleigh, the whiskey, and Alfred sort of just disintegrate into the wind.
And also my bandages. How does that affect me?
You are still at the same hit points.
Okay. Just no bandages and I'm lightly bleeding into my shirt.
Correctamundo. Pretty much.
You've got some red on you.
Yeah, I guess I'm the big man himself tonight.
We're in the storm, you said?
Yes. It's the edges of it. It's not absolutely terrible at this point, but you anticipate looking on forward where you can not see anything in front of you, that this is about to get bad.
Alright, so let me get this straight. We can't imagine anything from here on out. Is that right?
Well, you can imagine it. I just don't know if it's going to happen.
So if we die in here?
Let me tell you, I'm pretty certain we just gotta avoid that as best we can. Because I'm definitely feeling this right now.
Well, not to worry. I checked my watch. We've been dead for over a minute.
Is the whiskey still available?
Nope. If my husband isn't available, then your fucking whiskey isn't either.
Ronnie, make me a sanity check, please.
What the fuck? What did I do?
It's to see if you can snap out of it, douchebag. What? You're still crazy.
I thought they rescued me from crazy. They pulled me out of jail.
I think you still failed your sanity check after that, though, so, like...
Well, I failed it again.
No, you did have to pass, because otherwise how would you have gotten out? Never mind, I'm dumb. Don't worry about that check.
No, I thought it was you were keeping him in there until someone else succeeded in something.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so you're still crazy, Ronnie.
But I don't know if that did pull him out.
Nope, Ronnie, you're still crazy. Fuck the world.
Yes.
Thank you, Eric. Ronnie's only still crazy because of Eric's input, and so everybody say thank you, Eric.
Mostly crazy. Still entirely dead.
I'm still searching for a difference between crazy Ronnie and regular Ronnie, and he's coming up empty.
So you're plowing your way through a awful fucking blizzard. I think as the wind is sort of howling around you, all of you would notice that there's no direction that this wind seems to be coming from. It swirls from literally everywhere. It's as though you're caught in a vortex no matter where you're standing in this, which doesn't really make any sense. Like, everything about this is off. And you can feel it in the pits of your stomach as you continue forward. And after a few minutes, you have to shield your eyes with your forearms as you continue, and you go for 20, 30, 45 minutes. It feels like an eternity. Elliot, you stop to check your watch at one point, and you realize that you're at 2 minutes and 2, and you're starting to get concerned that you need to hurry it up, and so you start to charge forward even faster, and eventually you get into the eye. You don't really know, but it's not windy, it's not storming, but you have this ominous feeling. There's this miasma that's hanging in the air. It's sticky and heavy, and it's odd because it feels humid and cold.
As soon as I step into it, I kind of then quickly lean back and try to grab whoever was behind me and pull them towards the direction of it and try to funnel everybody in.
Yeah, I think that you get everybody into this sort of clearing area. So in front of you, off to the right, there is a giant unfrozen lake. There is still snow on the ground, but the lake is completely placid at this moment, and there is no ice on it. And then beyond that, maybe a quarter mile, you can see that there is this enormous mountain with like this cavern going inside of it, and there are these stalactites and stalagmites that create like this toothy maw almost for this cavern, and you would assume that this is probably where you're meant to go.
Once we go in here, we do not split up.
No, of course not.
Nobody look at Mom's hair. She doesn't like it when the wind blows her hair.
All right, Ronnie.
Should we throw him in the pond now, or wait till later?
I'll keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't run off looking for butterflies or something.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Who are we keeping an eye on?
We're all keeping an eye on each other.
Oh, sure.
As you walk slowly towards this cavern, when you get beside the lake, you see a woman. It almost seems as though she sort of appeared out of the corner of all of your eyes, because you had been scanning the area. You're looking for any sign of movement or anything like that, and where there was once nothing, there is a young woman, maybe 19 years old. She has long chestnut hair, and it's tied in a braid going down her back, and she has on this thick wool plaid sort of overcoat, and it's long, it goes down to her knees, and these large galoshes, and she's sort of standing at the edge of the lake.
It is Mary Ann.
Ma'am?
She'll turn around, and you would immediately notice that she has a small infant in her arms, and she'll kind of turn her head to the side, and she'll say, "Oh, I don't think you're supposed to be here."
In all fairness, miss, I don't think any of us are really supposed to be here. And I think we got some real schlock to start doing.
I think I know why you're here. Okay?
I'm sorry, hon.
No, just listen, okay? It's not gonna be bad. You don't need to do it. You can just stay here. She said so.
She?
The queen promised, okay? She's gonna protect us.
Honey, I'm so sorry.
No, you don't understand what you're doing, okay? If you do it, you're damned forever.
Well, I guess it's up to me, because I'm already far along that path anyway.
No!
I'm gonna step towards her with my arms out towards the baby.
Keep him away from us! Keep him away!
It has to be this way.
No, you can't let him do this! You can't! You can't let him do this! And you reach out and you grab onto her, and she tries to bite you a little bit, but you're much stronger than she is, and you rip her down into the water, and you hold her there, and she's screaming and fighting, and you can see the bubbles as she's doing it, and she's thrashing about, and her baby is just thrashing next to her, and you're holding them both down by their throats under the water, and you're sort of looking away and gritting your teeth as you do it, and you hold them there and hold them there and hold them there, and they thrash, and the water splashes around you, and it splashes and it splashes and it stops. And it stops.
It was for the better that it was me. I mean, we're all having to go through this, but maybe it's better that I'm the only one that has to bear the worst burdens.
You hear this enormous roar that echoes from out of this cavern, and the ground shakes around you, and waves sort of lap up at your legs, and you watch as their corpses sort of bob in the wake. You would know that there's one more.
She's no Esther Williams.
Are they in view?
Not that you can see.
Why do I get the feeling that we have to go to that cave?
Exactly what I was thinking. Dorothy will go over and put the infant back in the girl's arms. And then turn around and walk back onto the shore and be like, alright.
You make a slow, solemn walk towards the cave, and as you approach, you can feel this heat emanating from it. And there's this loud, slow wind, almost like breath. And it's hot when it comes upon your face. You creep around the stalagmites and you make your way into the cave, and you can see that there is this glowing light off in the distance, and anyone who was once in the basement would recognize this light, and they would recognize the stench and the miasma around them, and they would feel a sense of dread from the familiarity.
Can I admit something before we go any further?
Better late than never.
Oh, it was, kind of eerie to me on thinking back just a few minutes ago. How easy it was to do that. To just turn it off. Any sort of feeling about whatever I was doing, whether it was right or wrong.
Elliot, you were the first one to get real up in the Metatron's business. It seems like he was kinda in your head the whole time.
Yeah.
I know he said that Ronnie was gonna be the one to save us, but I think you're here to guide us, to kind of lead us, keep us moving forward.
That's what I was afraid you'd say, because despite how I've carried myself up to this point, this cave, this place, it frightens me.
Yeah. Elliot, my mother has a friend that teaches people how to swim. And we could put you in touch with her.
I think what he's trying to say is, we've all been afraid this whole time. And you've kept leading on from the front. And, I don't know. I've tried to stay at the back and keep pushing, but I think all we can do now is move forward. And if you don't want to be the first one to do that, then be the caboose and make sure that we're all together, okay? And I'll take lead for you.
Yeah, I think that might be best for right now. And if you notice, like, while you were talking, he's just, like, started, kind of trembling.
Oh yeah, Dart's hands are shaking, but he's got them balled into fists, and He just lightly punches Elliot on the shoulder and... Okay, well... Time's running forward, right? Gotta keep going. And Dart will start leading the charge.
And from the back, I turn to Ronnie and I'm like, yeah, why don't you keep telling me about those swim lessons? Anything to take my mind off of what's going on right now.
It's nothing to be embarrassed about, okay?
Yeah.
Every step that you take, Dart, it reverberates off of this cavern. And as you go in further, it sort of encloses and becomes more claustrophobic, it becomes warmer, it becomes thicker. And the smell becomes more nauseating. You continue to push forward and you can hear your footsteps over and over as they echo. And eventually, it opens up. You can see this brilliant light in front of you. There's a small underground stream in front of it. It's glowing, it's golden, and there is a young woman who's, well, the right half of her body, it's normal humans, but the other half is different. It's elongated, it's emaciated, it's beginning to grow these long claws at the fingertips, and she's drinking from this golden stream. She looks up, and you can see these horrible sharp teeth in her mouth, and part of her face is sort of gaunt and emaciated as well, and she sort of roars at you for a second. And then charges.
Dorothy she's processing everything that has happened within the span of the last, 3 or 4 hours. When she roars, Dorothy just screams this, rage, grief, everything, and just lunges at her, full stop.
Okay. Roll strength.
Oh my god, it's a pass. It's a 7 and a 7. My score is a 7.
Okay. So you go and you try and meet this thing head on, and as it tries to bat you to the side, you duck under it and you punch it as hard as you can in the face, and it sort of shakes it for a second, and it looks at you, and roll me strength again.
Oh my god. That's a fail.
It punches you directly in your jaw, and for a split second, you're awake, and then it's darkness for a few moments at least as you hit the ground. And everyone else, you see this happen in real time. What would the rest of you like to do?
Dart is a little bit thrown off by... the scream catches him off guard, but I think Dorothy's scream really, throws a wrench in him, and so after that first trade of blows, Dart turns to Ronnie and goes, "Ronnie, we got a bar fight to stop." And he will charge in and try and tackle the woman.
Nobody hits my mother and gets away with it.
Roll strength.
Oh my god.
That's a fail.
Crit fail.
Okay. So you both try and charge into this thing, and you're charging into its human side, and immediately it turns and it just forearm shivers into both of your fucking throats, and you sort of back off and fall into the ground, and you'll both take 1 damage from that. Elliot, this thing has just knocked the majority of your friends prone. What are you doing?
I had already had, the sort of cave jitters of this place, and upon seeing, I was kind of set at ease by the human side, but once she turned and revealed the monstrous side, knowing that like we don't have the sort of safety of the imaginary powers that we had from before, he's kind of shook, and he is going to try to hide.
So you run over and you find the closest sort of corner that is hidden by rock, and it's the darkest place that you can possibly find, and you cower down in the fetal position and you start rocking yourself back and forth. And Ronnie, you would see this thing is beginning to position itself over Dr. Greenbank, and your vision is sort of going from being sort of a tunnel to opening up and becoming wider, and you're coming to, and you see that it's about to raise a fist, and it is probably going to bring it down on Dr. Greenbank. What would you like to do?
I spit some blood from where I bit myself, and then I'm going to jump up and attack again. I'm going to go for the legs. Well, shit.
You have luck points.
I'll do it, but I'm never going to be sane again is all I'm saying. Meats.
You rush at this thing, and you grasp at its ankles, and you wrap them together, and it immediately goes down, and you take position and immediately put your hips on its hips and start driving elbows down. Like, you don't even understand why you're doing it like this, but you're just doing everything that you can to keep control of this thing. And Dr. Greenbank, go ahead and roll me Constitution. And Dart, you are up, and you're kind of like shaking it off, and you see that Ronnie has this thing on the ground, and he's writhing with it at its waist.
I think right now Dart is going to try and actually pull Dr. Greenbank out of immediate danger.
Okay, Dr. Greenbank, can I get that con check, please?
It was a pass.
Oh, you're up. Yeah, I mean, not up, like, you are, like, fluttering awake as Dart is sort of dragging you away from this creature, and so you can have any conversation or whatever you'd like to try and do from that point.
Fuck. Dart, you okay?
Yeah, oh great, oh good, you're back. Okay, where's Elliot? I do a quick scan for Elliot.
You have no idea.
Oh my god. Did Ronnie go down too, or just me?
No, you would see that Ronnie is, like, controlling this thing on the ground if you were looking around. You just can't find Elliot.
I got it, Ma. You need to get out of here.
No, sweetie, we need to finish this thing.
I look at 95-year-old Dr. Greenbank.
She's 55!
and then look at my own little scrawny chicken arms. He looks to a nearby rock and says, I think the two of us team up and brain this thing, then we get it into water, okay?
Yep. Let's do it.
Between the two of us, pick up a 5-pound rock.
Why don't both of you roll me strength real quick?
Yeah, okay.
That's a natural 1.
Okay.
That is a 2.
Yes!
All right.
Damn, Greenbank's got that mother strength.
Woo!
It's like lifting a car off a baby.
And Ronnie, roll me strength as well, please, because you're still hanging on to this thing.
Uber fail.
Okay. You pick up this rock together, and you bring it over, and you both, on 3, heave it at this creature, and as it's in the air, it sort of writhes itself free from Ronnie's grip, and it twists over to the side, and you connect sort of with the side of its face, but it doesn't seem to have connected solidly enough to have knocked it unconscious or anything like that, and it immediately grabs Ronnie with its monster arm, and it tosses you across the cavern, and you actually land near Elliot. And you'll take another point of damage as this happens as well.
Elliot will reach out and, like, kind of pull him into my safe area, and I'm gonna start like praying over him, and like sort of trying to send a message to Metatron that we need help. I know you can. I at least am fairly certain that you can hear me. I don't think we make it through this. So if you want what it is that you want, you need to help change the tide of this conflict.
Elliot, roll me wisdom, please.
That is a fail.
You feel broken. Like this is hopeless and all of you are going to die here.
Maybe he sent us into a trap. Maybe this was the plan all along. I'm going to revert to trying to use, like actual, like physically try to, sort of nurse Ronnie back to health.
I mean, Ronnie's coming too. He got the wind knocked out of him, but he seems to... Right, you still have enough hit points, Brian?
I have 4 hit points.
Right, and you've taken 2 hit points of damage. 1 from the first attack and 1 from the second one, correct?
I have 2 hit points.
Perfect. Okay. So but you're rough. Like you're feeling like shit. Like you have some broken ribs. Like things are not good, but you are alive.
Not good.
Yeah, get your arms above your head. It'll help you breathe.
Shit!
Yep, just don't fight it. You'll be able to breathe in a second here.
You can hear the creature is thrashing and roaring at your friends who are sort of keeping their hands in front of them and you know, diving out of the way and rolling and seeing what they can do to keep it busy, but you are currently in the worst position right now.
Yeah, Elliot's gonna kind of take a peek over the rock and see how they're doing when they're fighting it.
Not good. They're doing their best, but it's not going well.
Okay, Ronnie, hopefully I'll be back. And he's gonna get up from behind the rock and he's gonna run towards the creature and try to do that, that 2 fists together sort of, Captain Kirk, like, downward punch, like, sledgehammer thing.
Okay.
And he's gonna attack the monster side of the face, not the human side. He's going straight in towards the...
So you're gonna give it an axe handle to the side of the monster face. I'm into it. Go ahead and roll strength.
Alright. Barely a pass.
You leap up as this thing is reaching out to swipe at Dart, and you bring both of your fists down on the side of its face, and it immediately staggers and falls backwards, and it's near the stream, that golden stream that's illuminated in light. Dart, Dr. Greenbank, you would have seen this, and it was very impressive. Like, this feat was amazing. You have never seen a human being come out of nowhere and perform such an athletic feat. And then to realize that it was Elliot on top of that makes it even more impressive. What are both of you doing?
Oh my god, Elliot.
Good to finally have you with us, bud. God, I'm just gonna try and throw my body on top of her head.
Roll me strength.
Oh, man.
Elbow dropper?
I'm trying to, like, pin her. That's a fail. You know what? I'm gonna use a luck point.
Okay.
That is the exact same roll. Amazing.
Okay. So you rush out, and when you leap into the air, you turn your body sideways, trying to cross-body onto this thing's face, and you just kind of splash down into this stream, and it's cold. And you get this shock to your body for a second, and you kind of come up, and you're thrashing about, and it's thrashing about, and Dr. Greenbank, what are you doing?
Dorothy's gonna look over at Elliot and say, and just go really quietly, he's got it distracted. You and I jump on top of it, try to keep its head underwater for as long as we possibly can.
Done. I'm gonna try to grab it and do that.
Okay, both of you roll strength then for me. Ronnie, what are you doing? You would see all of this happening.
I'm crying.
That's a fail.
I got to pass.
So, Dr. Greenbank, you get on the torso, and it immediately starts trying to wriggle you free, and you get tossed about, and I mean, it's getting hard for you to even gasp for air because your own face is going under the water as this is happening. But Elliot, you get both of your knees on top of this thing's face, and you hold them there. And as it writhes, you do everything in your power to keep your knees on this thing's neck and on its chin, and it is gasping. There's bubbles flying everywhere. It's thrashing about. You get multiple large, long rends around the side of your face as it grasps for you and tries to pull you under itself, and it can't. It just does everything in its power to do so. And Dart, what are you doing? You see this all happening, and you're not far away. You could easily swim towards it.
Can I try and take my jacket off and like try and use dexterity to like tie it up so it can't fight or something? Try and grapple it, do anything?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and roll it for me?
Okay. That is a 2. That is a pass.
Yes!
So this thing lashes out, and you manage to grapple your jacket around it, and you just immediately start twisting it up, and then you hug it to your body and just use all of your weight to try and hold it down, and it's continuing to thrash you about in the water, and you're gasping for air every time that you come up. Dr. Greenbank, you're doing the same. And Elliot, you continue to just grit your teeth and push your knee down to this creature. Ronnie, what are you doing?
Crying.
And slowly, as Dart and Dr. Greenbank, as you don't think you can hang on any longer, the motion begins to slow, and you can feel these shudders going through the body as everything begins to calm down, and you are able to bring your heads above the water, and you look over and you just see this very empty, expressionless face on Elliot as he continues to finish the job.
As soon as it looks like this body isn't giving any more resistance, I'll walk over and put a hand on Elliot's shoulder and lead from behind, bud. You did a heck of a job.
Come on, hun.
Yeah.
Elliot, you instinctively look down at your watch, and you realize that you're at 3 minutes.
We have to go very quickly, or some of us aren't making it back.
What else? What else do we have to do? I thought it was take care of these three. I thought that was. What else do we have to do?
Every night you'll hear her croon a Russian lullaby.
The Devil's Antlers is a production by the Time to Die Podcast Network. Our links, our credits, and other shows are all available at timetodiерpg.com. If you like this ukulele music, visit charlottepelgin.com, where you can get her entire original album. She also has many old-timey covers available on her YouTube channel. Our cast was Tim Demuse, Chris Riley, Aubrey Gray, Eric Patt, and I'm Brian Bridges. You can find our character roles and social media links in the description of this episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Devil's Antlers.
And a Russian lullaby.
I got it, Ma. You need to get out of here.
No, sweetie, we need to finish this thing.
I look at 95-year-old Dr. Greenbank.
She's 55!
and then look at my own little scrawny chicken arms. And I go,
You dick.
to Dart, you could be 1,000 and he would believe it. He looks
There's no way you would have chicken arms either. A jazz player in the 50s, you realize how heavy a music equipment was back then?
And you play fucking accordion?
He's got a decent, like, harness that keeps it, like, you know, distributed across his entire torso.
Stop trying to justify your chicken arms. Let's go.